What's going on? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Room. Having a healthy mind is priority, man. Yeah, I know these type of sessions, interviews, whatever title you want to put on it, it's always my favorite thing to do. Because not only do you guys, the audience, get to learn, I get to learn as well. I know a lot of people like to prep, do they full research and really know damn near 100% about the person that they talking to. Me, I like to do a little bit, but come back here. That way it's fresh for y'all. I get to learn while you learn. And, everything is real organic. It's genuine. That's the best way to have a conversation flow. In my opinion, I'm not an expert, man. But without further ado, today's guest via Zoom, man, first and foremost, I gotta say, shout out to my guy Ty, my brother Catch Up. Always, man. I first heard of GQ Banks because of Ty and Walt. And I know, as I stated before, Ty is a brother. He say somebody good. I don't need to hear no more. They good, man. He got an album that's out right now. It dropped last month. It's a solid project. My favorite joint on it right now is Truant. So if you're a little skeptical, go to Truant. I promise you're gonna fuck with that. Then go back to number one. Listen to the whole joint. It's fire. It's titled Dangerous. So without further ado, man, we're gonna let GQ Banks introduce himself the proper way, and we're gonna do exactly what we know how to do best, man. What's
What
good?
up? What up?
How you feeling, bro?
Everything good. Everything good. GQ right here. From the Bronx, Wash Ave. Maintaining, living life. That's all. Day by day.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
28.
28. So
Yeah.
all right. So you've been around for a good.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Time, man.
Yeah.
I wanna start off with if you don't mind, just because it's fresh on my brain right now. I just finished listening, to the album again. It's like my 50th solid project, man. I mean that.
Appreciate that.
My fire project. Was there a reason why you wanted to put it out during the pandemic, or because I know a lot of people decided to like kind of slow down through the pandemic. Things wasn't the same. As others decided to kind of like flood. Did it affect you in your process, or you was just like, I already had this coming, so that's what we gonna do?
First, I ain't gonna lie. The beginning, it was I ain't have it scheduled up for the pandemic. I didn't even know the pandemic was coming out. Or I had it like February. I was already planned to like, yo, I'm gonna put this shit out like later in the end of the year type shit. Build singles like I had Kicked Back Out and Truant out before the tape came out. So like I was pushing those for a little bit. I'm like, I bet, let me just put the tape out. But the pandemic actually worked in my favor because it's like it had limited guests inside the studio. So it's like I had all focus, you feel me, straight on the town. Only people who was in the studio with me, like people who did the features, people here and there. I had my cameraman come take pictures and all that. But other than that, it was limited, and it was like I like the experience because everybody ain't really here to tape. So like I got actually the genuine outcome from like everybody's opinions about the tape, their favorite tracks and all that stuff. So it came out good. I like actually worked in my favor.
You kind of work better when it's a kind of a more of an intimate environment. You like that?
Yeah.
One-on-one between you and the engineer.
You're right. Like I ain't got no opinions in my head. I just do what I want to do. Like for me, my type of style. Like it's my music. Right? So actually, that was what it was.
That's definitely the best way to work, man. So I just I wanted to start off with that. We're gonna come back to that, man. But let's go back to the beginning. GQ Banks. Where the name come from?
Damn, I was a big ass Lloyd Banks fan. A big ass Lloyd Banks fan, and it was like everywhere I went, it was always another Q somewhere. So it was like I added the GQ from Juice. You feel me? My boy GQ and all that shit. So everybody see me, they were like, "Yo Q." Everybody say, "Yo Q." So like fuck, I'm like, "Yo, his DJ shit was GQ." So I'm like, I fuck with the G, and always been a big Lloyd Banks fan. Always felt like he was underrated and all that shit. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna keep the Banks shit going and shit. Like that's the whole shit right there.
I ain't gonna lie, that when I seen the name, of course, Banks, I thought of Banks, but I ain't think that, that would be the inspiration. That's dope, man. Shout out to Banks. That's like one of my favorite rappers. I've never met him, but I'm super mad at him. He should have been had music out. Like I don't know what's
right.
Gotta get on his job,
Yeah,
man.
he got to get on his shit, man. We need a Banks tape out there, man. Maybe he got to come over and fuck with some shit I got.
Listen, man, you on camera right now. Throw it out. Throw it out,
Right.
man. Throw it out.
Banks, come fuck with a nigga, man.
You never know who's watching, man. Born and
Right.
raised in the Bronx. I've said
Indeed.
this on a previous episode. I know people always have, this wild idea when it comes to the Bronx. So just for some reason, you look at all the boroughs throughout New York, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. For some weird reason, is just considered the worst, man. So
Right.
kind of take me back to like the beginning, or as far as your memory would go, like when you kind of, I guess, started kind of coming into somewhat of your manhood.
I would say middle school. I had to say middle school, like, cause I was when I first started going to school, I always stayed there. Like I started elementary on my block, but then in my middle school, I had went to Cortland and went to school, so it was like a whole different environment, a whole different niggas I knew and all that shit. So it was like over there, it was like shit was fast. Like youngins was doing shit that I seen grown cats doing and all that shit. So it was like hold on, like let me take a step back real quick. So like ever since then, I just started been on my shit, be on my P's and Q's, always watching my surroundings and shit like that. But I always met like good, always been cool with everybody. So it was like it was just shit. It was like a learning curve. But I say like around like probably 7th, 8th grade, like 7th, 8th grade. That's why I'm like, you know what, I got my shit and all that shit. Like let me get right.
Got you. Would you say like growing up was kind of tough?
Tough? Damn. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I can't say it was tough because like you feel me. I'm still here and everything. You live and learn at the same time, but it's like circumstance. Like then you wish you had this and all that, this and the third, but it wasn't like given to you. So you just gotta make the best of what it is. Like that's all you can do. So it was like I never looked at it as being tough. I just rolled with the punches type shit. Like
He was kind of used to it. It was just
yeah,
normal.
yeah. I just knew it was gonna be a better day one day. Like keep on grinding and shit like that. Just keep my head up and keep going and shit. Like I'll be good. Like feel me?
Got you. That's honestly like there's a lot of people that just, I don't want to say their whole life, but damn near their whole life they kind of work to even be able to think that way. You feel me? Like
Word.
just to have that type of mentality of, I don't have it now, but let me not kind of dwell in it. Let me work hard and make sure I get what I want to get. Did you
Yeah.
did you always think like that, or was there like a certain time in your life that kind of shifted your mind state, or just your way of thinking in general that kind of put you on the path to like, I'm a grind, I'm a work hard, and I'm gonna just do what I gotta do to not be in whatever situation I'm in.
Like it mainly came from my mom's because like my mom's always like she had 4 boys and all that. So I mean she still had my pops helping everything, but my pops always was like at work and all that stuff and all that. He got in and out and all that shit. So it was like we always had some good Christmases. We had some bad Christmases. So I always knew it was gonna be a better day some days, sometimes it's gonna be low. And so it was like I always had that mindset. Like, and I always had older brothers that like guide me and they always been like strong minded. So it was like I always had that, listening to pop when I was younger, like 6, 7 years old, hearing pop and playing all loud in the mornings, Biggie, Nas, and all like they always listening like back then the golden era, like those was good rappers, like who was spitting stories. So it was like I was learning from those where I was early grabbing an old dictionary, like what the fuck he meant with this word. Let me find out what this shit meant. Oh, this and the third. So like I'm like, I bet these niggas ain't always been rich and all that. So I like it gotta be some type of formula to get up out of here some type of way. So like I always had that mindset, like I just gotta keep going.
Got you. That's dope, man. So both parents, both
Yeah,
parents.
yeah, both parents.
How many siblings?
I got 5 brothers, 2 sisters.
Ooh, you the youngest?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Ooh, man. I mean, I guess that's good. That's a lot of
Yeah,
that's
all the Jews fell on me, man. All the Jews. Every Jew I got, I took that and ran with it.
all right. That's dope. All right, it makes sense now because I'm the second oldest. So
All right.
me and my older brother, he make a mistake. I try to learn from it. On this side,
Yeah.
I make a whole different mistake. So you having
Mm-hmm.
that many older siblings, it made room for them to make all the mistakes that I guess somebody
Yeah.
kind of needed, to the point to where, all right, you can't do this. You got to move this way. So
That's a
that's
fact.
dope, man. So you
Yeah,
would
that's a
say
fact.
music has always been, like, it's always been around in some form or way.
Yeah, from my grandmother singing in churches to my mom's asked me to play the drums for her, and then doing that. I went from there. I know the rhythm. I know the beat patterns now. So it's like it was a little cheat code, but I still, you feel me? I ran with it. Like it was music. Like everything was music.
See, this is why this is like, my favorite thing to do, and this is why I don't like pre-ask questions and stuff like that, because
Right.
real musician. That's the title I'm gonna put on you now. Just so
Yeah.
I learned that information. That's dope, man. So you said the drums, right?
Yeah, the drums. My brother used to play the keyboard. I used to try to. I could do a little chords on the P chord, but I ain't too good on it. But I was definitely crazy on the. I was a drummer. Had a drum set in the room and all that, playing till like 11 in the night. My mom was telling me get off the drum set and all that, playing hip hop music and all that. She don't want to hear that, all that. But like that. It was regular.
Damn, that's fire, man. You don't meet, you don't talk to a lot of people that's coming up now in this generation that actually has a skill set within, the actual
Right.
being a musician part. It's just
Right.
we're gonna find some YouTube beats, we're gonna put words together, we're gonna see what happens.
Exactly.
The fact that you have that knowledge, man. Like I said, it's making more and more sense because I listened to the project a few times. Off the first listen, you come up with a few ideas, but you kind of never really, well, me personally, I kind of never really dissect too deep if I don't really
Hmm.
know the person, but
Right.
listening to that project, because I kind of listen from I don't know how to play any instruments. I used to know how to play
Right.
the flute when I was a kid.
Right.
Not I don't know how that happens, but it's happened. So I just do music in a different way. Like somebody
Right.
else might pay attention to the bass. I might melodize with the strings and maybe a kick.
Right.
I just listen for different things within the instrumental, man. So that's dope. And listening to the production picks on your joint, it flows real good together. The
Right.
sequence is
Appreciate it.
it's seamless. It's not like a high and a low or a high going to a mid and then jumping. It's all The vibe is consistent.
Right.
So it's making sense now, man.
I appreciate it. I would try to make it like that for one had to be like, too hard on ears. Like everybody like, damn, he went a whole crazy hardcore in this one, and I was so down on this part. Now,
Yeah,
like it's too much mood switching. Like you feel me? Like you got to keep it consistent. It's like I kept the title of the tape and I kept that theme, the dangerous, and I ran with it. Like keep that whole tape like that. Even on the pull up joint, I had to throw some Tupac, say like you had to say some type of something dangerous in some type of lovable way, but I did it. Like you feel me? I had to make it happen.
that's another fire joint on that, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
dangerous. What made you come up with that?
Damn, it's like shit. It was like more representation. I want my respect type shit. Like damn, I feel like I want like top 5 in the Bronx. Like you feel me? Like as far as spit, but there's a lot of popularity contest goes with it. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
it's like I feel like now it's not about the music. It's about like who knows who more. Like you feel me? Like what he do, what he like. You feel me? What he is he out here going wild, kissing ass and getting around pitches and all that. Like you feel me? It's too much politics into that. Like I'm trying to get back to where's the talent at? Where's the skills? Where's the whole body of work at? Like I want to know where. Like that's why I said like dangerous. Like it's dangerous. Like when I get in that mood, it's telling y'all it's like that type of shit. That's how I just called it. Like I'm gonna keep it dangerous, whole tape dangerous type shit. So I just kept with that theme. At first it was just a theme. I ain't had the title as dangerous. I'm like fuck it, I'm gonna just keep it dangerous. Like the whole shit dangerous.
Would you say that if you had to categorize yourself, somebody asked you right now, like, what kind of rapper would you put yourself in? Would you consider yourself just an all around artist, or are you one of those rappers who, really, really want to stick to that and claim that and own that?
Shit. I say both. Like I feel like I'm an all of. I feel like you could drop me in any era, I'll be good. Like you feel me? Like I'll be drop me. You could drop me back to the '90s. You can drop me in the '80s. You go throw me now, 2000, early 2000, 2010s, the 2020. Don't matter. I feel like I'm just good at any era. Like if you put me in that era, like. But as far as like being a spitter, like and being a rapper, like yeah, because that's like when you think about it, like the rappers is the ones who's top 5 all time. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna put the rapper on that top 5. You ain't gonna mention nobody who just out here doing melodies and all that all day. Like, yeah, he the greatest rapper of all time. No, he probably the greatest artist, but rapper is different. Like, you gotta put that intellect in there. Like,
You're right. It's. I tell people all the time, man. It's a difference between rhyming words
yeah,
and making sense out of sentences. When I
right,
say that, it hits them like, "What are you talking about?" But there's a difference between rhyming words and making sense. Because you can say
yeah,
"pat" and "cat," that rhymes. That rhymes.
right,
But if I take
easy,
those same two words and break those two words down and formulate a few other words and it still makes sense, that's you know
right.
that's on a different level, man.
That's a fact.
So music been around most of your life. Older brothers,
Yeah,
older
hmm
sisters. Making sure you listening to the right ones, Tupac, and having influences like that.
yeah,
Grandmother, your mom singing in church, you playing the drums.
yeah,
Your brothers playing certain instruments. Everybody chooses a certain passion, whether it be for kind of an escape, whether it's therapy, whether
hmm
it's a way to kind of just say things that they can't necessarily say on a regular day. For you, was it just I've been around music, I love it, so I want to constantly create, or is there something deeper for you? Like why music for you?
yeah. It's deep because music started like back. Like, my mom used to go to churches on Friday nights because she had to do. I forgot what it was. I'm not too religious. I'm more spiritual. I'm with the spiritual type. Like, but my mom's like, she used to go to church on Friday, so I used to hate going to church on Friday. Like, that's the fun. I get to play the game. It's no school on Saturday. And like, you feel me? Let me get right. So she bought me a composition book, and the composition book, I just started writing stories at first, like my own stories, like
Mm,
tales of the hood, this, that, and the third, like, own type of stories, like
mm,
kids stories, this, that, and the third, and then just started. I bet, like, started doing poems, started writing little rhymes and stuff. Let me see if I can write like Pop. Let me see if I can do a Pop. Of course, the first times it was corny, some bullshit.
yeah.
Like, you feel me? Like, it was nonsense. Like, I'm like only like 10, 11 years old. But as far as I got older and older, the story got realer. Like, you feel me? So, like, it was more deeper than that. It was definitely my mom throwing me that composition book. Ever since then, it was like I started love writing.
So you would consider yourself more of a storyteller?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Slick Rick or Big Daddy Kane if you had to choose?
Oh, I'm going slick in this. Even though only reason I throw slick in it because his shit was shortened though. He got booked. So it was like he was limited of the shit he could do. After he got arrested, like, Slick was in there for a minute. So I feel like Slick though, like the shit he did for the time he was out there doing it was
Storytelling is different.
crazy. Like, everybody listen to the Christmas story to this day, probably. It's little kids I know that probably know Slick Rick.
Nah, that's a fact. His storytelling, like I still to this day, I tell people, man, like I haven't heard
Yeah,
somebody else tell a story the way he told a story.
right.
Like,
And I might be biased too, because I ain't really listened to that much Big Daddy Kane. I was more like Rakim, and like I heard a couple of Rakim and all that, because I like Tupac, Nas. So I'm like, I bet Rakim falls in the same line. You feel me? But
Mhm.
like, but Big Daddy Kane was definitely good too. But I feel like Slick was definitely underrated.
Nah, you definitely right, man. Super underrated, man. Like
Word.
you definitely right. You definitely right. Underrated on two levels. We're gonna get back to, but underrated on two levels. Not only just on the music side, son, but people don't understand. All you got to do is not even switch the gold out. If you add diamonds to his jewelry,
Yeah, he's
everybody doing what he been did. Only
yeah,
difference is his was super long. Everybody's
heavy as hell.
like he come on, Slick Rick to this day.
Yeah,
Different, different.
shit's like 8 pounds, 10 pounds on his neck. He was wilding on
Oh,
one chain.
bracelets, rings,
Word.
everything, man, crazy.
Fuck with Slick.
Um, all right, cool. So you fell in love with just telling stories and being able to create. Shout out to moms, for giving you that composition,
Yeah,
you on the right
indeed.
path. You feel me? Um, I know you had a lot of guidance because of your siblings. You had both parents around, so it
Right.
wasn't too crazy. But sometimes, even if we don't really want to engage in certain things, the environment we around kind of still just, sucks you in a little
Yeah,
bit. So,
right.
just to get deeper on a more personal level, if you're comfortable with that, kind of
Yeah.
take me to some of the I guess the rough times. If there's, any times that you can kind of think of something, just any
Rough.
traumatic experiences, something, growing up in the Bronx that still stays with you to this day.
Damn, I remember, like, yo, I remember that's so crazy. It's not a rough time, but it's a funny ass story. Now I remember that shit. I held that shit to this day. I remember I was at an ice cream truck, bro. I had $1 in my hand. I'm telling the ice cream nigga, like, I'm like 6, 7 years old. Telling the ice cream nigga, like, yo, give me, yo, I want an ice cream. I want the wrestling joint with the rest. You had to remember the wrestling niggas on the ice cream joints. I'm going, wow, yeah. I'm like, let me get the ice cream joint. Some grown ass nigga took my dollar and spent. From that day on, I said I ain't never letting another nigga take shit from me. I swear to God, ain't nobody taking shit from me again. Like, that's probably my roughest moment ever since. But like a little shit, like, like niggas want to fight and all that. But other than that, it's like that was regular. But that right there made me think like, man, nigga taking shit from me, like nothing. I don't care what it is, my talent, gift, nothing. I ain't letting that shit. I held that shit to the core. Like, nah, he ran with my dollar and I couldn't do shit about it. Like, nah, I ain't like that feeling. Ever since then, I'm like, fuck that shit. Nigga can't take shit from me. I don't give a damn what it is.
So ever since that moment, that's been like your motivation to
And
not let it happen again.
yeah, like toughen up, man. You gotta start being a man right now. Cause nigga probably like fight 14, 15. I'm only 6, 7 years old. I'm like, damn, nigga, you just gonna take my dollar? Like, you got mad niggas dollars that you could have took. You gonna take my shit because I can't do shit about it. So I'm like, fuck it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm never letting that shit happen again. I gotta toughen up. I gotta stick my chest out, son.
You said that stays with you to this day.
Yeah, that was like that right there, like my earliest moment of some rough shit, like tough times happened. Like that was my last dollar too. Like my mom just gave me that shit. She was on welfare and all that shit. So I was like, hell no. I couldn't tell her that shit.
Got you. All right. All right. All right. I see that way of thinking. So that moment kind of started with, the dude taking $1, but it kind of transitioned to,
Yeah.
let this kind of, I'm gonna apply this to everything. I'm not gonna
Yeah, like
let.
I ain't
All
like the feeling. I ain't like how it made me feel, nigga. Like I gotta get back. Like, I gotta get right. I can't let this happen no more. Like shit like that. Like ever since then, like I just kept that mindset. Like, nah, nobody can't take shit from me. Like my gifts, my talent. That's why I just go hard on my shit now. Like trying to own every single thing I got. So like you can't take that shit. Like, feel me? It started from that shit right there.
I mean, at the end of the day, that is a excuse me, that's an unfortunate incident that happened. But
Right,
the fact that you gain, everything you gain after that,
right,
and I'm real skeptical, when people say, everything happens for a reason. But sometimes I just have too many questions, like just why, like why. But that's the
right,
situation I can honestly say, because everything you're saying now, which is a great transition into what you have around you right now.
right.
Also, that I'm gonna let you tell and give the people a little bit, but I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna say it now on camera while he's here. If you got a size large, throw it to the side for me. Cash
I
app.
got you, gang. I
Zone.
got you.
I'm gonna get that. He also dropped a merch with the album, and
Indeed.
just kind of talk about that. What was the motivation behind that?
I
Just
gotta big up my
the
boy, that
idea to start.
Nipsey.
Mm,
Nip. I
Nipsey
ain't gonna lie, I'm a big ass Nip fan. Like, I've been rocking with Nip since probably like what the marriage. I think it was the TMC tape, probably or probably. But I think I really started fucking with Nip heavy with the Crenshaw joint though. Like crazy, like look tapping into this business mindset. Like damn, he sold
Yeah,
this shit for how much? $100 tape. I'm like, oh, what the fuck he did that shit for? I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And that's the only way people really caught on to him. Like, you feel me? He made that buzz. Like, you gotta shake the ground. You gotta shake the room. Like how Pop Smoke said, you gotta really shake the room, making people like, oh shit, who the fuck is doing that? Why he doing that? They gotta ask them questions. You feel me? Like, why he put out this shit? Why he put out that tape? Why he came out with the merch with it? Like, nah, it's like it's just a business. That's what you want to get. You want to make sure people notice that you putting that work in. It's that grind. You put more than just the music to it. You put more. input into your craft. You feel me? Like you trying to build that craft into one big picture for you can feed a lot. You can feed a whole team with that. Like I got the family merch is that's from that label I'm trying to build now. We got the Family Inc. Records we trying to build up from the ground up. Me and my boy, I got my first artist 2-4. He on the tape too. He's on the pull up and he's on the On God tape. I mean song. He's on though. That's one of my first artists that he's crazy talented. You feel me? Young, he's driven, got great personality, everything. So like I had to put him out there, make sure he get right. And then we got the home team merch that's my team. That's me, my friend Mach, my friend 40, my friend Darius, my brother Dan. All of us just came up with an idea like fuck it, like we got another thing to branch off the same way how Diddy and them did back in the day. They had their record label, but they had a Sean John. You had the Rockaware. Everybody, you had their branch. Like they feel me. Like you knew when you got a Rockaware joint on. Oh, you represent somebody from Rockefeller. You represent Rockefeller in some type of way. You got a Sean John on. You representing Bad Boy some type of way. So it's like it was just like looking at the different moguls that we had in our generation. Like so, like that's what it was.
That's dope. So you would say your motivation is mainly focused on building that empire versus just focusing on this kind of one small corner, so to speak.
Yeah, because they're like at the same time, I can't be the only one getting right. Like everybody gotta, you feel me? Like they said, it was the same. My pops told me you could I don't know if I'm saying it right. You could lead a man to the water or something like that. But the fishing joint, you know what it is, like the
You can lead a man. You can lead a man to water. I know. I know.
you can teach him how to, but
Yeah.
if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever. Like
Yeah.
something like it was one of those joints. Like he taught, like he always put in my head. Like I just ran with. I don't know. I don't ran with it so much. It's like it's my part of my lifestyle. I don't even know the saying no more. It's like, it's like how I live. Like basically, like I'd rather have me start up something and then branch over my guys so they can eat too, instead of when I just get right and then everybody I gotta feed everybody as well.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's not. It's just gonna drain the energy out of me. But I'd rather just uplift my brothers with me. You feel me? Like it's no way in hell I can't go by myself.
Would you say family is important to you?
Heavy important. I got my little man, my lady and all that. So it's like they very important to me. Like that's right there. That's just an eye opener right there. So my little man is everything to me. So I gotta definitely make sure I'm stepping right, make sure I'm doing everything in his eyes good, because I'm his role model first. I'm his first role model. So I gotta make sure that everything is solid. Everything is not no flaw in my game, because he gonna know his pops is a real one.
I want to take a moment real quick to just address this, and I want to address this specifically because of the year being 2020, the year that's been kind of built to just tarnish the black man, the man of color, by any means, whether it's
Right.
killing, whatever it is happened this year in 2020. I just heard this man speak not only about his child, and you just heard every single word that he said about him being a role model, his child's first role model, but he also just spoke about his lady. Those are two things. If I open my phone right now, I guarantee on some social media platform I can find something that's gonna bash those two very things.
Mm-hmm.
A man that doesn't
Indeed.
do nothing for his kid or doesn't do anything for his lady, when he just specifically mentioned both and being his reason as to why family is important. So I wanted to highlight that purposely. This is the
Yeah.
king, the type of kings that they try to say don't exist, the type of kings that they don't
Right.
or mention.
That's a fact.
Oh man, we doing something positive over here, man.
They always trying to slay us some type of way, but we got to overcome, since we've been doing since the beginning, as we always.
Definitely, man. 2020, man. Before I go further, 2020.
Shit.
How has this year been for you? Like just throughout everything that's been going on.